Charles Rolls? Well, cars and planes weren't the family's only interests. In fact, his father founded this school, based on the Montessori theories of child development and given a new lease of life by a woman with a much more urban background.
In London, I used to run a big prep school in the middle of Sloane Square, basically. It was quite a posh school. It was, in fact, the most expensive school in the UK, I discovered at one point. And there were 450 children and 52 staff, and it was a really nice, prestigious job. But then I came down here for the weekend, saw the view, and I fell in love with it. And I thought, well, either I'm going to be crusty old Mrs. Whaley, who's been at this private school in London for 60 years, or I'll do something radical.
Something radical meant taking a fresh look at the way children are taught and how they learn.
Oh, that would be great. When I came here, it was Montessori, so I looked into that very carefully. I incorporated that with the sort of renegade things I've been doing in my other jobs, and came up really with a system that I think is based on how adults learn. And adults would not tolerate quite a lot of what children are expected to do. For instance, sit through lessons they don't enjoy, be taught by people who don't know really what they're talking about in certain subjects. You know, because we all had to be jacks of all trades in the primary sector. And I thought, no, I want to be taught by somebody who really knows about the subject, so that I know if it's going to be one of my strengths.
Should we look at this one here then together?
That then encouraging them to work very hard in the mornings, rather like homeschoolers. Say, look, you know, maths for an hour, English for an hour, but once you've done your target in that, which is at your level and your age group, then you can do something else. So they have a feeling of closure. They are attracted to coming here because it's like a family. They're taught in a family like the ancient Greeks wanted it. So, you know, we're going back to the very beginnings here of the whole system of education, turning the Victorian system back on its head, going back to its roots. And so we're one of the schools that now do philosophy. I know that's coming in more and more, and I like to be at the leading edge of those sorts of things. Philosophy has made a big difference. It's taught them to question things, not necessarily to take as read everything that people say. And then ecology, you know, this is going to be the new thing. We're going to have to look after our country and our countryside and our planet, you know. And they're very involved in that. We have a recycling shed, we grow our own vegetables.
Can you see there's a root end and there's a shoot end? The shoot end's just starting to come through.
One of our neighbours comes from Spain, he's a Catalan. And I said, oh, look, come and do this. He's done some teaching before, so he's now doing the Spanish.
Elliot. Verde, that's right. Can we all say?
And of course they're loving the Spanish, and they're getting on so much faster because he's the real thing, you know.
Blanco, very good.
We have children here who are pretty well definitely going to work with horses. You know, often we say to them, look, when you want to work with horses when you're older, you are going to have to add up this, that and the other. You are going to have to write letters so they can see the relevance of what they're doing. And a lot of our teachers will bring in real things. Our head of maths brings in his telephone bill and says, look what I got this morning. You know, we try and make it very relevant to life. And I must say, you know, just the fact of having all this land around and the farms and the animals, and, you know, we can have our cats and we can breathe, basically. And I must admit, I did think, you know, I'll come to, because I've never lived in the country at all. I've always lived in London, was brought up there. And I thought, well, I'm going to sit looking at a windswept window and thinking, oh, help. Where's civilization? But of course, it's not like that at all. I mean, there are loads of us who have moved, for a start, so there are lots of new people in Monmouthshire. And it's been no difficulty at all to settle in. There are loads of like-minded people. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Lots of very interesting friends I've made who do innovative, interesting things. And, of course, a lot of people who've always lived here. And there's a good integration, I think, in Monmouthshire. I think Monmouthshire likes to think that it's still a bit of England, a bit of Wales, and we sit rather nicely in between.